my name is Aaron Aubrey, and I was born in Scottsdale, Arizona, raised. Lived there all throughout high school, and now I go to college in California, and I go to Bethel Church. So growing up, I always had support from my loving parents, of course, and they raised me very Christian-like, you know. We always went to church every Sunday and whatnot, you know. And I read the Word, I heard stories, you know, and it all made sense a little bit, you know. There was always something missing, though, you know. I never felt like I fully understood what I was learning, you know. I never felt like it was all correct. And I mean, I grew up believing that the Word, you know, the Bible, was completely correct, you know, that there was no inconsistencies, that there was no, like falseness in it, you know. But I still didn't understand how it didn't line up with, like, science, or didn't line up with, like, you know, how the world sees the world, you know. And so I knew it was true, but I didn't know how to prove it. And I was too afraid to ask questions, because if I asked questions and no one had answers, how was I supposed to continue believing? So that really was tough for me, and it made me kind of distance myself from the faith, right? And then while I was actually on study abroad in Japan, I met these guys that had studied Providence, you know. And so I met with them, I started studying, you know, doing Bible studies and whatnot. And it really, for the first time ever, I felt like there was real truth in the Bible. You know, I felt like I understood the truth of the Bible, you know. It wasn't just like me trying to convince myself or convince others that I knew. You know, like when people would ask me, oh, was it true that Adam was truly the first man in the whole world, and then Eve, his wife, was taken from his rib, and then, like, they did incest, and then they made all of humanity? Like, how am I supposed to answer that, you know? Because I didn't know, you know. But as I studied, you know, it truly showed me the truth that was in it, you know, that the Bible is not wrong. It's our perception of what happens in the Bible that was wrong, you know. And so I wanted to change that. I wanted to learn correctly, you know. And so that's kind of where I had my focus. And truly as a result of that, I really was able to change my heart. Because before, I had believed but didn't know why. And because of that, I had lived really recklessly. I had just lived how I wanted to live, because I wasn't going to understand the Bible. And, I mean, no one was going to tell me how to understand it properly. So why not just live how I want? You know, that's how I thought. But after truly learning properly, I was able to change my heart, change how I lived, and really, in a way, live for something, you know. Live for something that I knew I believed, and now I was able to understand. And once I had that feeling of, like, really understanding and being able to apply it to my life and really basically change how I live, raise the level of how I live, I couldn't go back. I didn't want to go back to kind of, in a way, blinding myself to the truth, you know. So yeah, that's why I chose Providence. I think the greatest thing about Sensinim is how much he cares, you know. Sensinim is one of the first people I've ever met, the only first people that I've ever heard of, you know, that has truly loved and cared for every single person, no matter who they are, no matter what they've been through. He's really cared from the bottom of his heart just for that person, you know. He hasn't cared because, you know, he wanted to receive love from them, or because he thought he would look good, like being helpful or being nice. But he truly has sacrificed so much, you know, and is pushed to learn the Word so much so that we can all understand properly. And that's just really amazing to me, you know. The greatest thing about Providence is how it can really change people's lives, really. That sounds kind of vague, I guess, so I'll explain a little more. So before I came to Providence, again, as I said before, I lived really recklessly. I grew up believing that, oh, Jesus died on the cross for my sins, so no matter what I do, I'm okay, because as long as I say I believe, then it's fine, you know. But that was a horribly ignorant and selfish way of thinking about it, you know. Because, I mean, you have to think of it not just in terms of physical, you know. You have to think of it in terms of spiritual. So, like, when people say, oh yeah, Jesus died for my sins, so I'll do whatever, you know, you have to think about how that's affecting their spirit, you know. Like, well, in the same way that, like, we like eat, we drink, we sleep, we shower, we clean ourselves, you know. There's the same exact kind of things for the Spirit. And so the Spirit's way of eating is reading the Word, reading the Bible, whatnot, you know. And the Spirit's way of, you know, cleaning themselves, like taking a shower, is repenting. The Spirit's way of like really breathing, you know, and living is through like prayer, you know. Incorporating that into your life changes so much, because you can no longer be so selfish. You can no longer be ignorant. You want to know the truth. You want to be able to change your life so that you can live properly, you know. And, you know, when people realize that, they really change their heart. Like, me from a year ago was completely different from who I am now. Completely different. I was terrible, honestly. I don't want to go into too much about it, but I was not a very religious person. I didn't even really care about my friends, you know, because I was so used to that selfish mindset. That got all the way deep into my heart and almost ruined a lot of my friendships. So, but I was able to truly change as a result of, you know, learning properly. And when I came to Providence, I met all these incredible people that really have that same heart, that really want to know properly and want to continue to grow and become better and truly live for God. And that's not a group of people you're going to find anywhere, you know. To really have that kind of really pure heart. I mean, I wouldn't trade them for the world. It's almost like a family. They're just like, they're always there. They always want to help. They always want to show God's love. They always want to do everything for, you know, to help you. And that's more kindness than I think I've ever been able to feel in my life. You know? So, yeah. I'd say don't be afraid to ask. Because if you don't ask, then you never know properly, you know. And even in the Bible, there's a verse that says, ask, and it shall be given to you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door will be opened unto you, basically. So, it's basically in the Bible telling you, ask, seek, knock, you know, look for the answers. But so many people are afraid, because if they look for it and they don't find it, they won't know what to do. But don't give up. Keep searching. Pray. You know, in your heart, really search for it. And I have a feeling that you'll be able to find it.